Now, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thank you so much for coming back. Now, in today's video, I want to show you how I created the eye look of the latest cover of Come Rain and Come Shine. Joining us, or for a little mini appearance, I have my assistant, Xena. She is a Cavalier King Charles. She's the sweetest pup in the world. I know. So she's going to be on his side, guiding us through the makeup. It's just a few products. It's very simple, and it's good for one of those days where you want to have a little color, but you don't want to have that palette of 12 shades and trying to figure out, okay, we need a dark color, light color. You want something nice and simple, something natural, but with color. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Xena's gonna go take her morning nap and we'll get going on a tutorial. See you in just a second. Well, hello. Now my skincare has been applied to my skin. Now we're gonna go straight into prepping the eyes. So I will be using the Patrick Chow for face, but it works fabulous as a concealer, especially since with me, I do have a little bit of redness, and if you have a little bit of redness or anything you want to conceal, this is fabulous. The powder is good in this too. As you can tell, I have hit pan. I'm going to be using the top here because I still have plenty of foundation there. And I go ahead and do this. I will also be mixing the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in shade Light Peach. And then I'll be using, and I apologize, it's a little dirty. I've been using it, but it has been washed, so it is clean, I promise. This is from Real Techniques. I do go between the Beauty Blender brand, Beauty Blender brand. Try saying those 3 words really quick. Anyways, I use this Real Technique because I go between that one and a Beauty Blender. They both work just as fine. And you blend them in. And then the powder I use to go ahead and set everything, I do use the Maybelline Fit Me and 15 Lite. And I get a sponge. In this case, I'm using the Laura Mercier sponge that she uses for her powders. I kept it even though the product has been gone. I do like the sponge. And I just go ahead and put it all over the lid. That way all that is nice, prepped, and ready. Now that we have this, I like to have my little spa moment and put the Forefray Beauty eye mask. So give me just a second. All right, my eye mask is on. Gotta drink a little bit of coffee. 1 second. Warm cup of coffee. We're gonna go straight into the look. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're gonna be doing the look that I created from Come Rain or Come Shine. Now, the reason I got into that look is because I wanted something simple, but I still wanted to have a little bit of that subtle color on there, because when I picture Come Rain or Come Shine, I'm thinking of blue. I don't know why, but that's what I picture. But I didn't want to do 10 million different colors at the same time or combine a bunch of blues like I've done previously to get one look. So this look is going to be very simple, and believe it or not, it's just literally 2 products, so it's going to be very quick. So I will be using, to start off with the crease, is the CoverGirl True Blend So Flush High Pigment Bronzer. Yes, I'm going straight in with a bronzer. Believe it or not, you can actually use this as actual eyeshadow. Any powder that you may have in your collection, you can use it as eyeshadows. Mine is in the shade 420 Warmth, because I actually do use this, even though at the top I have a little bit of a I hit pan there. I do use this as actual bronzer as well. Now, this is a very beautiful color because it's very light, but it's not light to where you can't see it, but it's not so dark to where you're like, So it's a very nice color. If you're darker than me, obviously go up a few shades to match you. But when you look for a color, look for a bronzer that's darker than you, but not to the extreme, maybe like a shade or 2. I'll be using this, and I will be using the Sephora 31 brush, the Pro Airbrush Crease Brush, excuse me. And what I'm gonna do, my mask must fall all over the place, my apologies. And literally, I go right here, and I put this all over the crease. Now, then I have that around the crease. You're also going to apply it all over the lid. This tip that I'm showing you, you can also do a 1 shadow look and just not even do the second product that I'm about to show you anyway, but literally just put this all over the lid, blend out, maybe have a little highlighter. You have a nice natural look throughout the rest of the day, and you're not dealing with palettes. This, you can use this as a bronzer, as I mentioned, because technically it was made for a bronzer. That's all one look and less products. As I mentioned, you're going to put this all over the lid. Okay, and this is how it should look like. I know right now it looks really, really messy, but if you've been in my channel for a while, I'm messy from the start, but you gotta trust the process, which is hence why I always do eyes first, because I am naturally messy. So then, now that all that's on the eyes, grab for a separate brush. Right now, I'm going to be using the BK Beauty 201 brush. No product on it. Don't go back into the bronzer. Nothing. And literally, use this clean one to blend. This is where we start getting a little bit neater. And this is how it should look like once you blend everything out. You see how it looks a lot neater now? A lot more seamless. It's starting to make sense, don't it? Now, off to the second product. I'm going to be using ColourPop Super Shock Shadow Ultra Glitter in the shade Sasuke Uchiha. If I'm mispronouncing that, I'm so sorry. I think it came from like a show that they did. I only bought it because, you know, blue. I'm obsessed. Now, I do like these Super Shock shadows because you can do it in simple steps like I'm going to show you now. When you don't want to fuss a lot, but you want that little, maybe a little bit of a color, or I think they have these like in brown or highlighters. They're really good. Now, I did the brush first because as you can tell, it's very, very light. We will go back to it, but I just needed like a placement. Go and use your fingers. Put it all over the lid. It gets more intense. But I'm going to show you that you're also going to be putting it a little bit on your crease. I'm going to show you. So hopefully you can see. You see how I'm putting everything onto my lid, correct? Use your finger and kind of go above, like that, above your crease. Open your eyes, or else you're not going to be able to touch the crease very well. It should look like this. We know we're messy, but that way when you open the eye, it goes a little bit there. We're always going to blend on my channel, so don't get too worried about that. And then add the blue on your lid as intense as you like. So give me a second. I'm going to do the other eye. Okay, so I went ahead and intensified and blended one side of my eye so you can see what the final result will actually look like. So I went back to my blending brush, the same one I used just to blend previously, and literally go ahead and blend. Now use very, very soft, gentle strokes. Don't be so hard because one, you're going to hurt yourself, and two, it doesn't look very good. So you have to be very gentle and open your eyes like the lid here on the skin. That way you can actually see, because if you're trying to do this, it's not going to work. As you can tell there, it's lighter than this one. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more. And then this is where you take this brush again, a little bit of the color. So you're literally just going to do this. You see how it's covering more of that? Just pat it. And that's it. That's literally the two colors. Of course, go ahead and blend. And then the next step is that I will actually be using eyeliner. I'll be using the Urban Decay 24/7 Inks in the shade Deep End. And that's essentially how you're going to do the entire eye. Now, I do want to apologize. I cannot put liner while I'm on camera because I need to be really close and put my elbow to be steady, or else I'm going to be shaking all over the place. Else it's going to be a hot mess. So give me a moment. I'm actually going to finish up my eyebrows, clean up a little bit, put my liner on, and finish my face. And when you'll see me next, all that will be done. But we're going to go over how I completed the rest of my eyes and my lip combination. So just give me a few moments. For you, it's going to be less than a second. For me, it's going to be in a bit. Ta-da! And I am back. Now, let's continue on to the next couple of steps.
Hey everyone, it's an editing innate here. I just realized I did not mention the product I used before the rest of the video. My apologies. If you notice, I do have eyeliner on. I used the Sephora 12-Hour Colorful Crayon Contour in the shade 29, My Boyfriend's Jeans. Once again, I am so sorry.
As I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the eye look with you guys. I went ahead and put in that liner. Now, in this particular look, I also added a little bit of a halo eye. So I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Hypnotizing, I can't read, Pop Shot. This is in the shade Cosmic Rocks, and it looks like this. As you can tell, I've used it. It's been loved. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our finger in here, and we're just going to put it right in the middle, as so. See how I brighten up the middle part of the eye? It has a little bit of that shift, like purple blue situation. Are you able to see it? Hopefully. I know I'm with a lot of lighting here. Then we actually are going to add some shadows on the bottom of my eyes as well. So we're going to go back to that CoverGirl bronzer. And I'm actually going to be using the 205 from BK Beauty. Tap, 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 because it is very powdery. We're going to go very, very softly. Don't be aggressive. Then go back to this brush, the one that we use for blending that has no additional product. Blend it out. Then we are going to go back to this shadow that we used. I'm going to be using a different brush, the BK Beauty 207 brush. Make sure it's nice and coated and apply it all underneath the lash line. I'm going to go back to the Charlotte Tilbury and just do the exact same thing. Then use that brush, blend underneath, and then use any other brush because these are powdery products that you don't use. Sweep anything from under the eyes just in case something fell on your cheeks or anything. And then one last thing. We're going to be using the Physician Formula Butter Bronzer Mascara, and you're going to put it down the bottom lashes. Because this brown doesn't seem to pop up as much, I will be using, like on top of that, the L'Oreal Voluminous Superstar Red Carpet Black. I'm going to be using the two side because there's one is the primer and two is the actual mascara. And I'm going to put it on top. That way you can see it a little bit better. Now on to the lips. The first thing I did is line my lips. So I'll be using the Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon in the shade Laugh Louder, actually, 04. It's like an orangey red color. And line your lips and fill them in. I know, it looks very intense, don't it? Now, I do use a chapstick to help smooth it out because I can never get it that smooth without it. I don't know why. And then on top of that, I'm going to be using from Besame Cosmetics, What a Peach. Now, I got the limited I Love Lucy that came out maybe about 2 years ago. I love it. I believe you should be able to still see it on their site, but they're very soft. And it's like a peachy, not reddish color. And I put it on top of this color. Okay, and that's the lipstick combination that I use. No glitter or anything like that. I want it to be a little bit subtle since this is an old-fashioned song. But if you're wondering, okay, so what was the rest of the products you used on your face? Look down in the description below. And I always list all the products that I used on my face. And just in case, just a little fun fact about come rain or come shine. I did do this previously. I mentioned if you've been on my channel, if you haven't. I had an older channel and I did post little covers, maybe 2 or 3. It wasn't much. It's not as consistent as this one. It's much better, this one. I also did come rain or come shine, but it was the same song, the same way I did it, but I just did the videos differently back then. So if you're interested, I'll link that video also down in the description below if you're interested. And to really finish this, I'm going to use the setting spray from Urban Decay All Nighter. And this is the makeup for come rain or come shine. So we want to thank you so much for joining us. And if you made it to the end of the video, she's cheering, she's happy. Well, technically she's a little groggy because she was asleep. But we want to tell you, have a good morning, good evening, good night, be safe, keep warm, because here in Houston it's like 46 degrees, so it's cold for us. And we wish you a wonderful 2025. And until next video, we'll see you then. Bye!